No laughing at me for all of you seasoned welders out there.
All right, another morning out in the shop. Today's project, we've got the boss out in the shop. The other night she was out here and we were working on her grab handle, and she informed us that she wants to do it herself.
Yeah, I'd like to do it myself. I'd like to make it, mainly just because I've never done anything like this before, and it amazes me what he can do. So I just want to learn how to do some small thing. So he's gonna show me today how to do that. I've never even held a welder in my hand. So is that the right terminology, welder?
Yeah, we can go with welder.
What's the part I hold in my hand called?
Stinger.
Stinger. Okay, so I've never held a stinger in my hand. Other than that one time the bee got me, but I don't think that's the same thing.
No, definitely.
So I'm going to learn to weld today, and I'm going to probably learn some other things too, but
yeah,
here we go.
She's on full fabrication today. We'll get her dialed in with the settings on the welder, some practice pieces to play with, but I've got some other stuff. I'm going to try to fix some tranny issues. But for right now, we're moving forward. We've got a tentative date to be in another state to get this thing on some rocks. So we're gonna get after some fabrication, some setup stuff. We'll take you with us. So this is your tubing notcher. You'll understand more shortly.
Why do I need to notch my tubing?
Because the welding that you're going to be doing over here is a notch tube. And if you're going to practice, you should practice on the same weld type that you're going to do. I could teach you to flat weld. It's not going to help you a lick over here. So we put it in here and then tighten her down. So get a tape measure. They're hanging on the red toolbox. Measure your tubing. Should be 1 inch. Okay, so you need a 1-inch hole saw out of the hole saw box over there, because your notch, you want the same size as the tube you're going to be spanning across. So all I've done for you is I took the adapter that is for the larger hole saw off, just because I have monkey hands and I can unscrew it. So you're going to screw this onto here.
How tight does this need to be?
Just give it a, and it'll be all right. It'll tighten itself here in a second.
Okay.
So now you're going to stick your pipe through there.
Like this?
Yep. Tighten that guy down until it's tight, like 1.5
Official measurements here.
1.5 grunts.
My grunts are yours. You probably need 2 grunts for me.
So now you're going to attach your drill to your spindle, to your drive spindle.
Do I want gloves on my hands?
No, I think you're okay. Medium pressure, and you're gonna let the hole saw cut its way through. Okay.
What?
I'll be back in an hour.
This is gonna take it. For the record, my arm's already tired. This is the same muscle that when you're shooting a shotgun gets sore. It's that muscle right there.
So now you have 2 of those. I would take these over to the saw and cut you off a piece on each end, about like yay. So see where this saddle is?
Yeah.
I would take both saddles
and cut them like here.
Cut them like this, so you now have 2 saddles already that you'll be able to test weld on.
Okay. So those are hot.
They're warm.
For my soft little girl hands, they're hot. Okay, I need you to walk me through the saw the first time.
Okay.
Because you just did it last time. You didn't.
We're almost a full foot difference. So I gotta walk around like this all day.
This is the story of our life. 5'3" and 6'2".
I was gonna say we'd be employing you in the shop here pretty soon, but you cost too much.
Okay, should I slow this down now?
It'll tell you whenever it hits the metal, but the sound it makes. If it makes you go, holy crap, then slow it down a little bit. If it just goes, you're probably all right.
Okay. Everything in me was going, ugh!
Yeah, the good news is we got lots of spare blades, so if you kill one, not really that big of a deal.
Okay, so these are going to be practice welds since I've never done this before. So he's going to tack the first one for me so I can practice just learning how to weld. What is the purpose of that?
So that's a path back. Electricity has to have,
right,
because this is DC power, positive on your stinger side. Ground here, you're just short circuiting. So this is the path back to the
and because
negative.
Everything between where I'm going to be and that is metal, that works.
Yes.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
So Jack said I stayed up here too long at the beginning and then I started moving.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's wide or
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that other than aesthetics. So then you're gonna come back over here and you're gonna do the same thing on this one.
Okay.
Except remember, 1/4 inch wide is how big you want your puddle. It builds pretty fast. So you gotta start and then just down there. Pinch bolt loose.
Oh.
Air ball.
I mean, it's ugly, but
For 5 minutes into day one, I figure you're pretty respectable.
okay, so we're working on design
We're working on design.
and we're gonna put this, okay.
Yeah, so because we marked this out the other night with you in the car, we kind of have an inkling of where it's gonna go. I think it's going to point that way a little bit,
Okay.
but we can do that with a grinder by removing some material. So we need to determine how long we want the small portion of your grab handle to be. And if we make this stick out longer, then there's less unsupported 3/4 inch pipe. So when we're in here, now we need to make what I would do is make a wild guess out here first, how long
right there.
you're gonna be.
Yeah, did you mark that the other night?
I believe probably so.
That looks about right.
And so we can cut that excess pipe off and be able to work with that. And then we can figure out this length that we want because we're gonna drill a cross hole through both of these pipes.
Okay, so do you want me to start by cutting
Yes.
that at that line?
All right, Harvey. Hi, buddy. You like the length on that one?
This one?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Is that a happy accident?
Yeah. I always thought we were gonna have to cut another piece of pipe, but
That seems
apparently-
like a good, I mean, it needs to be cleaned up and
Okay.
so does this. Okay, I cut it. You can tell me what I need to do to fix it. Yeah, but I don't know if there's holes or if it's gonna be.
You won't ever rip it off of there. It's your very first project weld. I would leave it. If that was my first weld, I'd be pretty proud of it. Most people's first welds look like seagull turds. You had to chase the seam, but learning to follow the seam is truly that. Learning to follow the seam. Yeah, I wouldn't be ashamed of that for my first one.
Eyeballs.
Okay, now you're gonna have to get in and test your fitment, because once you go to the next step, there's no turning back. Sure, right? Eyeballs.
so I learned how to weld today. Lots of fun, easier than I actually thought it was gonna be. Not hard at all. No laughing at me for all of you seasoned welders out there, but I'm pretty proud of what I did. So I did this weld here to connect the bar, and then I drilled all the holes, I did all that stuff, I did all the cuts on the saw, and then I didn't want to do this one because I was afraid I was going to screw up in the car itself, but I just welded it in the car, and I even did this upside down piece, so I'm super excited. It's not the prettiest weld ever, but it is literally my very first time ever welding. So I'm proud of it, and I'm glad I did it.
I think we got to give her a pass. Duly impressed.
Oh, you were like pass fail. I passed.
Like pass fail grade.
Oh,
not
I thought you were
not
like
it's an excuse.
Exactly. That's what I was getting
Pass
offended.
like pass fail. She can't be not good at anything. It just isn't in her
That's
wheelhouse.
just silly.
Literally this morning I came in, dialed the welder up to some basic settings and turned her loose on some material, and we didn't hear any popcorn or any stuff like that. Pop actually mentioned a couple times that he was surprised that the first time you pulled the trigger, we didn't hear any popcorn or any weird stuff like that. I don't see any massive seagull turds on anything, so I think you did an excellent job for day one. I think you can, with some practice, you can be stacking dimes.
What do you think, Pop? How'd I do?
She did a good job.
Hey you, have you subscribed yet? Have you clicked the little bell icon so you know when we put out new content? If not, go down right now, click that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you know when we put out new content, and we'll catch you on the next one.